I wanted to create a place where women can come to be empowered by other women. Women helping women, with interviews of extraordinary and inspiring leaders, artists, celebrities, and change makers who have overcome great challenges to become incredibly successful and then give back to others so that they can love and believe in themselves, follow their bliss, and shine their light. In this way, we can truly be the change we wish to see in the world. Welcome to the Orgena Rose Show. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Orgena Rose Show. I am here with founder and CEO of Wealthy Women Warrior, Andrea Carter, and we will be talking about distractions, diversions, and disconnections. Oh my. So please welcome to the show, Andrea Carter.
Thanks again for having me, Orgena. It's a pleasure to be here. So diversions, distractions, disconnections. It's a similar principle as, being addicted to your story. And with each of the different archetypes, there are different things that pop up for each of them. But the main concept and the principle is still the same. So I'm sure that everyone here has had the experience where you're sitting at your desk, or you want to do something specific in a specific amount of time, and you say to yourself, okay, this is going to happen. I'm going to get this done right now.
I'm doing it.
And then the phone rings, and it is your best friend, sister, boss, and all of a sudden your time is up.
Bye-bye.
That would be a form of distraction. It's something that pops up for you, even though you have the intention that you're going to do something. So remember, initially I had talked about how we have neural pathways and how we have specific patterns that hook us into our story. Well, part of our ability to move forward, and this is where that never give up also, so elegantly lends in, is that we need to understand what the distractions are so that they don't consume our lives. Because how many times do we start something and we're taken off course? So a distraction is very much something that pops up. It's not something that you are expecting. It's the doorbell, it's the phone call, it's the employee running in, opening the door in your office and saying, hey, it's those type of things. Right. Whereas a diversion is more along the lines of there's an unconscious or subconscious issue. So it's coming from fear, anxiety. It could be coming from grief. It could be coming from a previous memory. And typically it's, even though we want to get this specific thing done, at some level we're avoiding it. And so a distraction would be something along the lines of, okay, this is my time for me to do this. And yet, oh, but I just need to check one thing on my email before I sit down and do this. And then you check on the email, and the email takes you to the internet, and the internet takes you to Facebook or some other form of social media. Right. And then all of a sudden, your time again is gone. A lot of times, distractions are based on a lack mentality. And so what happens is that at some level, the tendency is that I'm not enough. Either I'm not enough, this isn't going to be enough, it's not going to be good enough. And so the human behavior is to put it off. And find, even though you're not doing this intentionally, nobody intentionally sets out to do this, but the diversion comes up as a way to change or divert the discomfort or the anxiety of what's possible on that other side. So it's kind of the second part to unhooking from the story, because also being able to recognize these things happen is huge to being able to progress forward. Now the last one is disconnections. And a disconnection is definitely more health-wise. It will come up as something that, it'll be a drama, a crisis, something where there's, it could be physical, it could be emotional, repetitive negative experiences. So the car crash, or, the mom going into hospital. In a way, the disconnection is a way to unplug. And it's typically because you're on the cusp of something really incredible. But the human condition is that we don't deserve, we're not worthy, or who am I to bring this forward? And so those are the three problems that women come to. And with the archetypes, that's really where we go and identify them.
Andrea, these are so powerful because many of us are familiar with the phrase self-sabotage.
Absolutely.
But many of us are not aware of how we self-sabotage. And we're not aware in these instances that these are the things that we do that self-sabotage.
Yes.
And so you're saying that as we're really about to set down to do whatever that thing is that's really going to help move us forward into that new arena, into that next big thing, the thing that we want, that we really, really want, that we really, really want, we will have these diversions, distractions, and disconnections that take us off course.
Absolutely.
Pop up. I love that. I love the quotes around the pop up because they seem to pop up. They seem to be unexpected things, and they are in the moment, sort of. But you say otherwise.
I do say otherwise because it's again that pattern. It goes right back to the pattern that happens with, this isn't just women who experience this. Men also have the exact same conditioning and behaviors. My tendency towards working with women is mainly because I'm also trying to heal my own aspects of being the mother and all of those things. And so these, again, with my own experiences, my own vulnerability, my own shame, and then seeing it consistently with other women, I focused on that first. I feel like there's actually 8 male archetypes that will at some point be developed, but not just yet. So, that's right. But from this principle, I think that there's always elements where we want something so bad, we're committed to the never giving up. It's like the diet that starts, the New Year's resolutions, and yet there's always a reason why we can't. So in a way, it can be seen as an excuse, but from a mindset perspective, we go, but no, like I really wanted this. I really did want this. Right. And that's where we have to take a look at a lot of the subconscious patterning. And again, why the Jungian psychology and the Greek goddesses and the whole evolution of this really came forth. Because knowing your archetypes, understanding how they work in your own life and how they come up, that's how you can actually begin to identify, this actually, this happens.
Over and over again.
Over and over again. And so understanding those key elements also helps you identify what they are so that there can be a change.
Beautiful. And so we'll find out how Andrea can really help make those changes when we come right back. What truly sets you apart from your competition? Do you know the answer? Most business owners don't, and the truth is, it's what can make or break your business. Every business wants it, but few know how to get it, and that is instant recognition. The kind you get when you hear a slogan, some piece of music, or even see a logo that brings a specific brand to mind. Many businesses and organizations spend a great deal of time and energy on the visual and forget the audio. Just like you would never send out a print piece without your logo on it, we recommend all your audio should be branded with an audio logo. These are simple and relatively inexpensive to create and help you develop a consistency that most others lack. Think about some of your favorite audio logos. McDonald's with ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. Or NBC with or any of the others you might know. Build consistency with it and take it across your TV, web, and live events for maximum benefit. Contact us today to find out how you can get your very own customized audio jingle with our empowering music branding. Hello everyone and welcome back. We are here with Andrea Carter, founder and CEO of Wealthy Women Warrior. We're talking about distractions, diversions, and disconnections. Oh my. So Andrea, you are really sharing some powerful insights, I think, for so many of us who wonder what happens with the time. Where did the time go? We had this plan and nothing got done. So you shared some really powerful things in the first part. Now let's talk about how do we not allow that to happen? How do we move beyond allowing ourselves to be distracted and diverted and so forth?
Sure. Well, and I think again, going back to the archetypes, because I use them in all of the work that I do. Yeah. So I'll give you an example. For Kalia, Kalia is the goddess of manifestation. So she is very big picture. She's amazing at being able to think about something and have it instantly pop up. So there's some of you who can probably relate to that, but it may not happen all of the time. And sometimes what will happen with Kalia is that she'll take a distraction, a diversion, or a disconnection as a sign that she's not meant to do it. And what happens then is that on the other side of that, she doesn't actually get what it is that she truly wants. And so for her, for that personality type and for those behaviors, what we have to do is we actually have to look at the patterns. So we look actually for the areas where she is taking herself out, and we plan for them. Because when you know what they are and you can identify, okay, so this is the distraction, this is the diversion. Now disconnections are a little bit different, but diversions and distractions, they are something that you can actually plan for if you can become aware of it. So things like
I love that. Plan for the distraction. Like, how simple and easy is that? But we don't think of that.
We don't think of that.
It's brilliant, though.
So for Kalia, because Kalia tends to be a little bit more of the feely type, she might be a little bit more earthy, if you will, or can sometimes be perceived as a little bit more spiritual in nature, if that makes sense. So for Kalia, what we do is we look at where she typically stumbles. So she likes to see the big picture, which means if she has people that can carry out the detail, she's fine. If she doesn't have that, she does need to set up structures for herself, which means that when she goes to sit down to do something, entrepreneurs, so women entrepreneurs who are experiencing a dip in their income, lack, an issue with being able to create the programs or the clients or whatever it is that they want, normally when they're doing something from a business model, which is more masculine in nature, because business is more masculine in nature, that's where they'll unplug. And so what happens then is that they need to be able to look at, okay, so when I sit down to do this specific thing, what are my typical tendencies? And we've even done it for some, people that are Kalia, where we have to create the mental construct of setting up the focus and of even creating the, if this happens, then I do this. And it allows them to stay on track. So knowing what your archetypes are really important so that you know how to handle these elements.
And what works for you specifically.
Exactly.
That's so powerful. That's really, really, that's juicy. That's really, well, I just think that's so empowering because, I mean, if you can know, what's one of the most famous quotes, know thyself. I really love that quote. This is one of those beautiful tools that helps you to do exactly that because the more you can know yourself and know who you are and how you kind of operate, the strengths right? As well as the things that kind of take you out and off course, you can correct, you can course correct, you
Absolutely.
can adjust. I just think that's so simple and yet so brilliant, right? Plan for the distraction.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the disconnections.
Yes, because
we,
that's
we
a little
can't
more, right?
really plan for those.
Right.
They still come from a subconscious perspective. And the majority of time, those disconnections, when we're really taken out by something, it comes up because there is fear or shame or guilt or something major that is getting us to put on a disguise or a cloak or a mask of some sort. And so when the disconnections come up, because they do, it's knowing your archetype so that you can understand, okay, so this is the blind spot. This is what keeps happening. This is, again, going the story, the repetitive pattern. And so how are we going to address it? And what is the mindset that we're going to use to shift it? Excellent. And each of these cards has a mindset shift as well.
Because that is your major point, is that these things that pop up, these diversions and distractions, while they seem really random, right, and out of the blue is another
Absolutely.
phrase that we say, many of them actually really do come from our own subconscious issues and things that we're carrying around.
Yeah. They come from our belief systems about, again, being worthy enough, being, you know, deserving, and also from getting out of that lack behavior. Yeah.
So the tip that we can really take away to really begin to make a shift today around this is to do what?
Well, I would say start with the distractions. Start with the pop-ups, because those are kind of the easiest ones for us to be able to identify. So what you'd want to do is look at when you go to sit down to do something important. And it may be that you actually set it up so that you discover it. Sit down and notice what your tendency is. Does it mean that you typically will go to that telephone? Does the phone ring every single time you're going to do something important? That is going to tell you that your boundaries are not clear enough. And it may be that to help you out, you're going to turn the phone off before you sit down.
Right. Which would seem kind of simple, but it isn't when this is just your pattern.
Well, and that's just it. You know, just like you are not your story, you cannot separate yourself from the beliefs that you've been conditioned to as that 3-year-old or 2-year-old self. And so it's setting yourself up for success so that regardless of what it is, you're able to deal with it. You're able to look for that aspect and change it or shift it.
And what is the question that you say is good for us to do? So we're going to recognize that pattern. We're going to look at that. What keeps seeming to pop up or happen, the phone ringing or the call or, you know, whatever it may be. And then what are we to ask ourselves?
Well, I would ask yourself, you know, the problems that are just seemingly popping up, where am I creating them so that I don't get to do what it is that I really want?
Excellent. Excellent. Really, really powerful stuff. Oh my goodness. Amazing insights from Andrea Carter, founder and CEO of the Wealthy Women Warrior. Make sure you come back for our next segment where we talk about men compartmentalize and women connect. Find out how this can help you next time. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us today on our show. I really hope that there was something shared that really helps you shine your biggest and brightest light. Please stop by again, like us on Facebook, tweet us, all of those good things. And most importantly, please always remember, it's all about love.